Reuters U.S. Domestic News Summary, Law Order John Drake Jr., 38, who was on the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's Most Wanted list, was found dead in South Nashville on Tuesday night, the Bureau said in a written statement on Tuesday. Pro-Israel resolution is new U.S. House leader's first act speaker. Mike Johnson called up a resolution supporting Israel in his first action as leader of the U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday, after a 3-week leadership vacuum that left the Republican-led chamber unable to respond to the Middle East crisis. Following is a summary of current U.S. domestic news briefs. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than U.S. Representative Bowman charged with pulling fire alarm at Capitol. Democratic U.S. Representative Jamaal Bowman was charged on Wednesday with falsely pulling a fire alarm in the Capitol earlier this month, prompting evacuation of a congressional office building as his party was trying to delay a key vote. Bowman, a former teacher who represents a district covering part of New York City and Westchester County, was charged with a single count of false fire alarm, documents in District of Columbia Superior Court showed. Republicans seen gaining 3 U.S. House seats with new North Carolina voting map. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than North Carolina's Republican-controlled legislature on Wednesday approved a new congressional map that should allow the party to flip at least 3 Democratic seats in the 2024 election, a major boost to Republican chances of maintaining their narrow majority in the U.S. House of Representatives. The vote by state lawmakers is not subject under North Carolina law to a veto from Governor Roy Cooper, who has joined his fellow Democrats in decrying the new map as a partisan power grab. Donald Trump fined $10,000 for second gag order violation in civil fraud case. Donald Trump was fined $10,000 on Wednesday after the New York judge overseeing his civil fraud trial said the former U.S. president for a second time violated a gag order barring him from disparaging court staff. Justice Arthur Engoron had imposed the order on October 3 after Trump shared on social media a photo of the judge's top clerk posing with U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a Democrat, and falsely called her Schumer's girlfriend. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than FedEx says U.S. Express service disrupted, blames FAA-IT outage. Overnight. FedEx Corp on Wednesday said its U.S. Express deliveries could be delayed due to an overnight Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, information technology system outage that the regulatory agency said has been resolved. FedEx's Signature Express service uses planes to provide overnight deliveries. The company said shipments delayed due to the outage are not eligible for a refund or credit. Republican Mike Johnson elected U.S. House Speaker, ending leadership vacuum. The U.S. House of Representatives elected Republican Mike Johnson, a conservative with little leadership experience, as Speaker on Wednesday, ending a turbulent 3 weeks that left the rudderless chamber unable to carry out any of its basic duties. The 220-209 party line vote elevated Johnson to the powerful role that has been vacant since Kevin McCarthy was ousted on October 3 by a small group of his fellow Republicans. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than millions more Americans were food insecure in 2022 than 2021. USDA millions more Americans had difficulty securing enough food in 2022 compared to the year prior, including 1 million more households with children, a report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, showed on Wednesday. The increase interrupted a years-long trend of declining hunger in the United States. Previous reports from food banks and the U.S. Census Bureau have indicated that hunger is increasing as low-income Americans struggle to recover from the pandemic and from the end of expanded food assistance. Nashville police chief's son, wanted for shooting 2 officers, found dead. The estranged son of Nashville's police chief, who was wanted for shooting 2 police officers, died from a self-inflicted gun wound as authorities closed in on him, state investigators said. John Drake Jr., 38, who was on the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's Most Wanted list, was found dead in South Nashville on Tuesday night, the Bureau said in a written statement on Tuesday. Pro-Israel resolution is new U.S. House leader's first act. Speaker Mike Johnson called up a resolution supporting Israel in his first action as leader of the U.S. House of Representatives on Wednesday, after a 3-week leadership vacuum that left the Republican-led chamber unable to respond to the Middle East crisis. The first bill I'm going to bring to this floor in a little while will be in support of our dear friend Israel, and we are overdue in getting that done, Johnson said as he accepted the speakership. White House seeks funds for internet subsidies, Chinese equipment removal. The White House is asking Congress for $6 billion for a government broadband internet subsidy program used by 21 million American households that is set to run out of money next year. The Biden administration also wants $3.1 billion to further fund removal of equipment made by Chinese telecoms giants Huawei and ZTE from U.S. telecom networks. Florida's DeSantis bans pro-Palestinian group from state campuses. Florida's university system, working with Governor Ron DeSantis, ordered state colleges to shut down a pro-Palestinian student organization on campuses, outlawing the group whose national leadership backed Hamas' attack on Israel. The State University System of Florida said chapters of Students for Justice in Palestine, SJP, had to be disbanded as part of what it called a crackdown in the Republican-led state on campus demonstrations that provide harmful support for terrorist groups. This story has not been edited by DevDiscourse staff and is auto-generated from a syndicated feed.